So in this video, I'm going to give you an overview of how I'm learning Spanish with ChatGPT. I'm going to use ChatGPT here to enter a prompt, practice conversational Spanish. And as you can see, ChatGPT gives me lots of great results with just this. It allows me to respond and go back and forth with ChatGPT with responses on how I would respond to a question in Spanish. So I'm giving a very simple response. That's my level of Spanish. And I'm giving muy bien when it's asking me if it wants to practice. ¿Cómo puedo ayudarte hoy? How can I help you today? Feel free to ask or start a conversation in Spanish. I'm saying, oh, very good. And you? It's telling me, very good. Gracias for your question. What do you want to know? Speak en español o alguna pregunta que tengas en mente. Si yo quiero, claro, estoy aquí para ayudarte. So you can have a conversation back and forth in Spanish with ChatGPT by giving it a simple prompt. So here I'm going to add another prompt. Provide me with 3 new Spanish verbs today that I can practice. So provide me with 3 new Spanish verbs today and provide me with an opportunity to study their conjugations. All right. So as a beginning Spanish student, this is very helpful, learning conjugations. And I also want to ask for 3 simple questions for each conjugation so that I can practice the conjugations. So it gives me bailar, comer, viajar, and it gives me 3 sample questions that I need to conjugate appropriately for those verbs, which is great. And it's fantastic because I could continue to build upon additional verbs with additional conjugations as I'm kind of going through. And it's great to have these questions kind of formulated, help practice different conjugations, also practice different verbs, and learn how to do it in the different tenses. And all created by ChatGPT by just a simple prompt. So now let's ask, please provide an explanation between the difference between voy a and voy a ir. This is a grammar concept, so you can ask ChatGPT to help you with grammar concepts. And voy a ir and voy a is a grammar concept that has different meanings, and ChatGPT is going to kind of clarify those meanings for me. So they give definitions of what the difference in these 2 statements are. And one is the phrase, a combination of 2 parts, and one is shorter form of verb expressing future actions. So very clear explanations of the different grammar components here of voy a and voy a ir. And it also tells you when is the right time to use it. So if you have a question about a grammar component in a language, it's fantastic. So now let's put into ChatGPT, tell me more about the Day of the Dead, which is a popular Mexican holiday. This is a way of using ChatGPT to help get better ideas and concepts around holidays or cultural traditions. And as you can see, ChatGPT gives me a wide range of responses, all sorts of different components of the holiday, the tradition, provides me with a bunch of information all about the specific holiday and this very specific cultural tradition, all through ChatGPT. Let's add to this, and now let's provide me with flashcards. So ChatGPT is amazing also at creating flashcards. It can quickly give you small groups of verbs and their meaning, or verbs and their conjugations, and also be able to provide a certain number of lists and also be able to help you create these in bulk, or at least have the information in front of you that you can copy and paste out of ChatGPT, or you can put a program within ChatGPT to help you create them in bulk. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways how to do that. So here I've asked for 50 common verbs for beginners. It gave me that list, the meaning of the verbs, so I can practice them. And what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to ask it for a specific conjugation. So here and now I'm going to ask ChatGPT, can you use these verbs and create the template for flashcards? And I want to ask me to conjugate them appropriately. Okay. So can I use these verbs and create the template for flashcards, which are actually going to conjugate them for a specific tense? And what it will do is it will take those verbs and it's going to conjugate them for me all within the first person tense. And what it does is it gives me a piece of code that I can manipulate and change to be able to do these in bulk. And it gives me the front side, the back side, and also the phrase itself. So this is a very cool feature in ChatGPT. Help me do this. Now let's do, can you do all 50 of these verbs using this flashcard layout in a table? So what it's going to do here is it's going to take those 50 verbs that I asked in the previous prompt, and it's going to make a table of responses in the proper tense. So you can do this for any tense, potentially multiple tenses, so that you can see the tenses used appropriately. You can print it, you can copy and paste this, you can put it into a worksheet. And can you do this conjugation for all 50 verbs? So this is where I'm starting to push ChatGPT a little bit. And what it's going to do is it's once again going to create a backside conjugation template for prompts of conjugating, so that I can do it in bulk. So I can take these prompts, enter them into ChatGPT, and generate all the proper tenses to be used with that verb. And it's telling me that I can replace hablar, which is the example in this particular example, with any other verb. So now I'm going to ask ChatGPT to conjugate ear fully. So I'm going to ask it to conjugate ear fully. And here it gives me just conjugation for ear in the present tense. And it also, these are present tense conjugations for ear for each subject pronoun. Ear is an irregular verb, so it also gives me additional information about the verb, which is very helpful. And then I'm also going to ask it, can you repeat the last prompt for 10 more verbs, or 10 different verbs? And I'm particularly targeting beginner verbs because I'm a beginning Spanish learner. And here it gives me those 10 very popular verbs and their conjugations in that I form. And it's telling me these are the conjugations of these common verbs in the present tense for the first person. In the singular yo form, you can use these as flashcards or practice them to improve your conjugation skills. And now I'm asking, can you repeat for 10 more? So basically generating even more verbs. And it gives me a whole other group of verbs. So I'm fully ready to study and prepare. I could even ask questions to ChatGPT. And there are actually plugins that allow you to speak to ChatGPT, which could even enhance this experience even more because you'll be practicing speaking while writing and typing. But that is with the ChatGPT 4, not the 3.5, where you can add the plugins. So it's giving me those additional conjugations in the first person, and it's recommending that I practice them in flashcards or I continue to conjugate them further. So thanks for checking out this video on how to learn Spanish, just even on the beginner level using ChatGPT. It's an amazing tool. It speaks back to you. Even though it doesn't have a name other than ChatGPT, it's a great tool to use to kind of enter prompts, enter questions in a different language, get responses back, get responses that also support your learning. And also with additional plugins, which I can do in another video, you'll also learn how to engage ChatGPT with your own voice and activate it to respond to your own voice. But overall, it's an amazing tool. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe. And I highly recommend, potentially using this in the future with your students, or even using this as an educator, learning to just get started with ChatGPT, how to enter prompts, design lessons, and kind of use it as a teaching tool.